Hello everybody. What I want to talk to you about today is this idea of those people have been watching my blog for a while. They've been following it and they see me often talking about religion, temple sites, spirituality, but they don't understand where this all comes together with sexuality. This website is really about my journey into self-discovery. The idea of my journey basically from lust to love. The idea that from the first half of my life was dedicated to the carnal, hedonism, the flesh, orgasm, ejaculation. When I was about 33 years old, I got onto this spiritual path when I went to Costa Rica and lived in a intentional community called Pachamama for a month. And from that point on, I have been on a search of higher vibration around my life and the center topic in my life, which has been sexuality. So after I went to Costa Rica, I came back to Montreal and I was a bit like seeking what my path was. And I was wondering, maybe I'm a healer, because that's what I learned while I was in Costa Rica, was that love is the core energy around healing. I resonated with that. I didn't know how it related to me, but I resonated with that. And so basically I was going through the gamut of, is it Reiki, which is one of the modalities that Jesus was using? Is it massage? Is it yoga? Is it shiatsu? What was it? I had no idea. As a joke to myself, I said, maybe the modality is sexual healing. And I laughed. And then I did research and I found a whole path of Tantra and sacred sexuality, of which I started to research and I started to study. And so I found myself at the International School of Temple Arts doing a 1-month apprenticeship under Baba Des Nichols, where we learned sexual healing and sacred sexuality and sex magic, actually. And there I met my mentor, Crystal Dawn Morris, and I've been on a path with her for the last 3 years, studying the work of Margot Anand and Tantra. That has opened the world to me. So it has allowed me to access my sexuality on a much higher vibration, where before it was about the pleasures of the flesh, about the number of people I could connect with or the experiences that could be had. Now the focus has gone to what is the potential of my sexuality with proper intention, with higher purpose, with living with honor and applying action behind these desires. I have found my life basically expanding more and more and more. So which brings me back to why all this study around Jesus or Judaism or Islam or Egypt for that matter. So I believe that in order for us to have an understanding of what our potential is, we need to kind of understand our roots by how we've been manipulated, our roots by those golden nuggets in scripture. What can we take from that to understand our essence so that we can live in this world as a more potent, powerful, free extension of the divine source, life force energy, whatever you want to call it. So what I have found is that my journey has been a journey of transformation. And what I have found recently on this second trip in Israel is this idea of resurrection. I'm still doing research on it, so I'm not 100% prepared to speak of my new perspective of what was meant by Jesus and the resurrection. I think all of this are metaphors. I don't necessarily believe in them to the word, and that is why I'm not Christian, nor do I connect to any other faith. However, I do believe in trying to find the golden nuggets that all these prophets had to share. So the idea of transformation. At 33 years old, I basically got onto this path of spirituality. In the ancient mystery schools of Egypt, they said you were in puberty until 33 years old, which meant you grew up, you got an education, you married, you had children, and at that point your service to family had been reached one level, and now the second phase of your life, 33 and on, was a new phase of life of spiritual seeking. So this is what's going on right now for me. So right now, when I speak of the spiritual Playboy, the Playboy has been my history. The history of Mondeose, Ballet Erotique, Salon de l'amour et de la séduction, none of which I reject, all of which is part of me, because I understand that this has brought me to the path that I am. So now how do I use this as a stepping stone in order to get to a place of higher vibration? What you've been experiencing so far on the spiritualplayboy.com has been my journey into studying the more esoteric, the more occult, the more traditional spiritual paths. What I bring forth with the Tantra and the sacred sexuality is how I merge these two things. So my hope for the next couple of years coming on of what I will be sharing with you is how sexuality and spirituality come together in order to create a world which has much more higher vibration and a healthier perspective of sexuality, one that connects us with our spiritual core, our essence, divine light, which is expressed by love, to see how that will affect my reality and the people around me through truly coming to an understanding of the carnal animal, the lower chakras of who I am as a manifest being in the third dimension, who I was, and all the mistakes and all the missteps and all the stumbling that I had, all of it to feed my next steps, which is spiritual enlightenment. So I hope you'll continue to watch this blog. As you know, as I've continued to say, it is not perfect. It is a work of imperfection. Not everything I say is 100% accurate, but it does come from a source of true essence. And it's up to you to take what rings true to you and leave out what doesn't. And I highly encourage you to find what makes you tick, what lifts your vibration, and follow that path, as I have started to do. I also hope that you'll take a journey with me and join me on any of my sacred sexual retreats, whether it be Tantra, whether it be the spiritual sexual shamanic experience, whether it be trips around the world that I want to start organizing, where we bring together prayer on sacred spots, as well as the practice and the opening of sexuality and the elimination of shame, fear, and guilt, which our culture, our system, our education system, our belief system, and our religious systems have really ingrained in us. The path that I am trying to really bring through is how to accept oneself, the light side of oneself as well as the shadow side of oneself, to merge as one complete whole, accepting oneself for all that we are, bringing through awareness from where we are in the negativity or in the dark side, and consistently paying attention to those darker sides so that we do not make our life be deviated by our shadow side. We can be conscious of these things so that we can grow from these things and focus our light in radiating all the beauty that we have in us, instead of having our life derailed or leaking energy or finding ourselves in dramatic or chaotic spirals due to these things that we choose not to look at, that we choose to tuck under our bed or in the back of our closet. But as long as they're in the back of our closet, unopened, unacknowledged, no awareness around them, they will continue affecting our lives. I hope you continue to follow. I hope you follow your inner essence, your inner vibration, your inner calling, your intuition, and that you too can get on a path of spiritual expansion and sexual expansion, one that brings you to a life full of joy, happiness, bliss, and ecstasy, so that you can be empowered and you can manifest all that you desire, so that you could share this abundance and this love with all the people around us, so that we can finally change the world. So as I love to say, let love free, because it's the only way we will ever change anything. Peace.